Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Average Superstar TV. I would just like to start off immediately saying we're going to spoil this movie. So anyone who didn't see it yet, look away. For any extreme fans that love to talk about it, this is the show you want to tune into. So I am your host, Lauren Lepre. I would just like to also say you can subscribe to Average Superstar TV on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And we got two guests joining me. Brian Enright, introduce yourself and what you do.
Hey, I'm Brian Enright. Lauren, thank you for having me. I am an actor as well as an award-nominated actor as well. So thank you for having me, and check out Hideout on Amazon Prime.
Alex.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I'm Alex. I have a podcast called the Dawn of the Horror Podcast and other genres. And I saw Halloween Ends this morning.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to kind of go around the room. Anyone who knows how much I love horror movies, there's one thing I don't hold back. One of the top things that I could just jump right out of the gate with. Something I just don't tolerate in any type of movie. I don't like bad scripts. I don't like when there's voids that are not filled. So this whole idea back in 2018 that we're going to just jump timelines, I think for horror movie fans, we completely understand and could just do that simple mindset. I think if people don't watch horror movies on a regular base, could just be like, didn't he die in a fire? Wasn't he chasing a little girl around at one point? I just think these studios have a big thing about insulting the fans. And when I saw yesterday, I had some friends that saw this film way a while ago, and I knew a lot of basically what was going to happen. So when I last night when I watched this, it was probably, I gotta say, almost as bad as the last one. I still think this one is a little bit of a step forward. I was really heavily disappointed. Pacing, this entire script, it was just probably right there with Halloween Resurrection. That's how bad I think this film was, straight across the boards. From everything from a guy who previously 4 years ago was beaten to death in the street by gangs and then wakes up and kicks tons of ass. 4 years later, he's like Rocky VI. He can't really move really quick now. I don't understand what he was doing with the character of Corey. I kind of get what everyone's thinking, like, oh, he's trying to pass the puck. But was he trying to pass the puck? Why? Because you accidentally, maybe purposely killed a little boy. We don't know. Because the way I looked at it, Corey was just claustrophobic and was kicking a door. I don't know. I don't know. I also get the whole Halloween 5 vibe of like, okay, it's not really going to be him this time, but then it turns out he's just got a tag team partner. The actor that played Corey, zero problems with. I mean, I thought he did the best that he could with what he had, but he had some sort of darkness in his eyes, but he wasn't supernatural. Minus the part where he sticks an actual butcher knife through his throat and up to his brain. And then I don't know what he did minutes later, but like he goes against Michael. So I guess with a knife in his brain, he still was like, yo, what are you doing over there? No. I didn't understand. There's a lot of holes. That entire disaster of Evil Dies Tonight from the last film. There was a part that everybody hears me complain about all the time where Jamie Lee Curtis is just in a hospital, does not cross Michael Myers at all. And then yet she has an operation and she's sitting in the hospital with the cop, and she gets, I guess, a download from the World Wide Web after all these films of what Michael Myers is, but she doesn't tell the audience. She just says, if we only knew now what we know then, then we do that we know now. That is never explained in this film. It's completely glossed over. This absolutely, like, they didn't go back to that. So I'm lost. I'm lost. I didn't hate it as bad as I hated the last film, because I am going to give one big credit at the end. We'll get back to that I did like about this film. But kicking off with that, Brian, what is your initial thoughts of what you just saw?
Well, thank you, Lauren. So I was glad that it was on Peacock a little bit earlier than what they said it was going to be. I wanted to go into theater, but I just got done seeing a wonderful movie in the theater called Terrifier 2, which, congratulations, Lauren.
Thank you. I heard that
work.
DJ was really sexy.
and so, yeah, I was just in the mood to watch Halloween Ends. I'm a newbie when it comes to the Halloween franchise. I think anything after Halloween 2 in 1981, every other movie after that with Michael Myers was fan fiction. So this is no different than the others. When it came to Halloween Ends, there was a lot of stuff that I liked. I liked the kills, of course. The kills are very graphic. I guess the ending was good between the fight between Laurie and Michael, that final showdown. But the rest of the movie, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, like, they had everything built up like it was going to tie in with Season of the Witch, and how Michael Myers was able to get up after that street fight in Halloween Kills, and then just kind of disappeared into the sewers. It kind of like was like a reimagining of Halloween 4. That was the Curse of Michael Myers, right? I'm
Yes.
not very good with the
No,
titles.
that's the Return of Michael Myers.
Yeah. It was kind of like the same thing. Like he's hiding somewhere, and then he's found, and then he wreaks havoc. And I mean, there was a lot of questions I had for the movie. Like, why do we have this new guy going around killing people? And why is Laurie Strode's granddaughter like obsessed with him? And why does the whole town hate Laurie Strode?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, how dare you? This is all your fault that Michael Myers came back and destroyed our town. It's like, she's a fucking victim. She's hiding and shit. And like, she finally like gets her life together, and they're just like, this is all your fault that this fucking killer is still alive, just wreaking havoc. So there was a lot of questions I had for Halloween Ends. I think
before we jump into what Alex has to say, yeah, I'm right with you. That's like you doubling down. There's just so many like gray areas of like, you didn't answer this. You didn't answer this.
Yeah.
So what were you steering us in the last two films?
No idea. We have no idea where it's going. I don't know. I want to hear what Alex has to say.
All you, Alex.
All right. So like, I'm still letting it like sit in my brain and like, slow cook, because I don't really know how I feel about this movie yet. Like, there were some really interesting things. I do really like when Corey puts on the Michael Myers mask and starts killing people. I thought that was interesting. Some people probably disagree with me on that, but I thought that was pretty interesting. I just didn't understand. They never explained why Michael Myers and Corey, they could like it seemed like Michael Myers like read his mind or something. They never explained it. Like,
what was it? Like what? Like, hey, I looked at you in the eyes. Yo, I'm a dark old man soul. You want to take over? But like, you're not explaining what Michael Myers ever was. We still don't know, according to this timeline. And like, I don't get it, because Michael still could fight, but he's old. So what was Michael going to do if Corey didn't find him? Was Michael going to come out that Halloween? Was he going to wait 10 more years? Like, I don't understand what Michael's doing hanging out in the sewer besides fighting off Ninja Turtles. I don't know what he was doing.
Also, a Halloween movie. There hasn't been a Halloween movie since Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 that there was a hobo Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
So now Michael Myers is a hobo living in the sewer, and it's also like at the beginning of Halloween 5 when Michael Myers was.
Yeah, that guy's sleeping by the river. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I took care of you for a year, and all of a sudden I'm going to kill you for it. Like, what a dick. You would consider an asshole?
I just don't understand why, like, it's like Michael was taking Corey under his wing when he found out that Corey accidentally killed somebody. It was just an accident.
Yeah, like it wasn't like, he just put the mask on one night and goes, I'm gonna kill this child. Like the child was annoying and he sucked, but like he didn't mean to kill him.
Best death scene.
Yeah. So one of the things that jumps out immediately, I kept thinking like the last few Halloween films too. There's something about these writers specifically for Halloween. I will say this: Jamie Lee Curtis, Corey, the cop, and the daughter. Name me one character you saw that you didn't care to see freaking get killed in this film. You had 4 street kids that. How many bad people walk around freaking Haddonfield that you just don't care about? Like everyone, the DJ, this one, that nurse, by the way, who's sleeping with the doctor in their the privacy of his own home. He called him doctor. She called him doctor. I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't even know his name. She called him doctor. Like
it's
I'm like,
very new position.
What's this? What's this freaking Darth Vader? You have to use the title when you're on your off time. Like little things like that were like bothering me like a lot.
Haddonfield's not a classy town.
No, I mean, look, guys, I could sit here the entire all day. I will have to. I do want to just shift one direction towards the positive. There's one thing I did like a lot about the film is when his character checks out. I dug the old West thing where like they displayed him. They drove to town, like basically lifting the curse, like, hey, we got him. He's right here. And watch this. I'd like the whole crowd surfing thing into the meat grind. I thought that's the only thing I liked. But
do you think the town was surprised when they got there? They found the other slew of dead bodies because they never explained that part. Just like, oh, let's just dump. What's this we got here? Oh, never mind. I guess Michael Myers did that.
I also pulled out like, do you know for sure that's Michael Myers? Like, did they fingerprint him? Was it like, you guys thought 4 years ago Ben Franklin was Michael Myers? Like that. So, there was so many like. The whole idea that 4 years earlier he gets beaten repeatedly in the head by the entire town and then just gets up. By the way, a Midwest town, no one had a gun during that entire thing of hunting a serial killer. Like no one had a gun in that. One
person had a gun.
Did they?
Just one. Yeah, one guy shot him a couple of times, and I think he accidentally shoots himself.
So my whole thing is Michael Myers is a curse and can't be stopped, but yet. In this movie, at the very end, Jamie Lee says, you're just an old man. Like, you're just human and you could bleed out and die. And that's how they kill him. So, like, what are you trying to sell me here? I just never know from film to film, like, if I'm talking with fans, what Michael Myers is.
Yeah, I didn't like that either because the whole Loomis wouldn't shut up for 6 movies about how he's not human,
Yeah, and it was just. I don't know. To me, it looked like an old couple fighting in the kitchen. That's just I was thinking of, like an old couple that can't stand each other anymore. We're getting a fight in the kitchen, and one of them didn't come out.
Yeah, that fight scene was pretty weak, considering that you've like had 3 movies to lead up to it. It's like, oh, it's a small brawl in the kitchen.
And the last film, they didn't even fight. Jamie Lee's entire thing was in the back of a pickup truck and in a hospital, so they didn't even cross paths. So I thought this was going to be a kabooming, and what's his backup though? When Corey goes down the sewer and meets Michael, your opinions, is Michael trying to pass him and saying like, I'm gonna die soon and I'm basically Master Yoda and you're gonna be my Luke Skywalker? Was that what he was going for, or did he just say like, is this a curse of the town? Like, I'm just going to pass it to this guy. Like, what's you're going to take over my world? What did we see?
That was the biggest plot hole for me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't fathom what was going on over there. I mean, like, Corey fell into the tunnel after getting beat up by a very diverse group of bullies. And he just goes into the tunnel and has a duke with Michael Myers. And then he they share visions with each other, and then next thing you know, Corey's going on to town. Spider-Man 3 Peter Parker, and he's just murdering people. So I don't know. That was the biggest plot hole for me. I think I would have enjoyed the movie if they just didn't have the Corey character and Michael Myers is just this bum who just lived in this tunnels and will come out every Halloween and kill people, and then they finally catch him.
For both of you here, what did you feel? I understand. I give the movie studio a little bit of credit. You're trying to push this Corey character. You go, Corey ain't dead. Corey, they're going to make the new Michael out of him. But what are your initial thoughts? Because I got to give him a little bit of credit for trying. But when you're just seeing Corey and the daughter for a good 40 minutes in the middle of the movie, and there's no Michael Myers, weren't you kind of like deflated? Or didn't you feel like I'm not watching a Halloween film?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
like, I didn't understand. I didn't really understand the whole thing between them. Like it seemed like they were like plotting to do like some what's their names? The man and woman out like why not like travel the country and like Bonnie and Clyde, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was thinking of, like, oh, let's burn the town down, all light the match. I didn't understand what they were going for with it. It kind of took like the scariness out of Corey becoming the next Michael Myers, I thought.
But when Corey was also killing him and trying to be Michael Myers, like you heard him say ow and stuff. It's not like he went blank and could just eat pain. So he was just a guy in a jumpsuit wearing Michael's mask. It was, again, there's just too many. I just wish these script writers would get 20 maybe fans or just random people in a room, read the script out loud and be like, now that we just read you a bedtime story, are you confused on anything? I just wish they would do that before they say approved. I just do, because otherwise you don't have three assholes sitting here like us asking what the hell happened,
Yeah, it's just one of those movies I'm glad I watched in the privacy of my own home. I mean, I liked it a lot better than Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills to me was just a shit show reimagining of Halloween 2, where nothing happens and it just felt like a music video. It just the scenes just jumped from one scene to the other without any explanation or any leeway to what was going to happen next. I mean, the kills were great, but I mean, that's basically the entire franchise after Halloween 2 in 1981. I mean, it's just Michael Myers killing someone. There's some supernatural aspect of it. It just really felt like, I won't say bad fan fiction, but it definitely felt like it didn't deserve to be in the ending trilogy with Laurie Strode. Like maybe it could have been a great movie after the Laurie Strode storyline finished up, and we would have been expected or prepared to see it as an audience. But when you had Halloween 2018, and then this Halloween Kills was just the second part of that night, and then you did a time jump so many years later, I don't know. It didn't feel like we were prepared for it, and it was once again we were fooled into thinking that it was going to be an actual trilogy, but instead it was just kind of like I don't know, like a fan fiction.
Yeah, what do you think?
It had the feel.
Good.
It had the feel of like a YouTube fan film. A little bit, except they had the actual actors in it. Yeah, like, I mean, like I said, I thought the whole Corey thing was interesting, but I just didn't. I thought like it was like cool with him wearing the mask and everything, but I just didn't buy the whole thing of him like he becomes evil just because he was picked on by some kids because he accidentally killed a little kid. Like, I just don't buy that part at all. Like, he was bullied. Basically, it was a Rob Zombie Michael Myers where he was bullied, so then he becomes a serial killer.
Yeah, it's out there, and again, we just brought it up, but like, he's human or he's not human. Like, why did Why did him getting stabbed in the hands, stabbed in the heart, stabbed in the throat, that's what kills him? But the beating in the street, he gets right up. Like, which was
Makes
way
no
more
sense, yeah.
which was way more brutal. Absolutely way more brutal.
Also, like, yeah, he gets stabbed in like the neck, and he gets a pitchfork in the spine in the last one, and he gets up. Like, it's no.
And he could beat up all these policemen and firemen. And he walked through fire and stuff. I'm like, what? That's what I'm saying. It's like that whole idea, like, oh, he's rusty. I'm like, why? Why only 4 years later? You went from you could fight at age 60, you can't fight at age 64. Like, I'm telling you, the best thing I've seen and ever in Halloween was the Levy brothers film Halloween 60, because they called it. they called it in that little funny film they made of Michael as being old. But guys, it's insulting. I don't know what this movie studio was thinking. This is the first time, because I can tell you, in Halloween 2018 and Kills, I knew there were still people sticking up for those films. I'm not really hearing much at all. People are mad this round so far that I've seen.
I've seen a few people say they liked it, but I mean, that's just the few and far between.
Yeah.
Majority of the movie. Well, Stephen King liked the movie. He posted to Twitter about it.
Maybe because it's kind of similar to Christine.
A little bit. Yeah, I had that vibe.
I mean, I heard that it was like before the movie came out, they were saying that the new Halloween is going to be like Christine, and
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Like, oh, Michael Myers possesses a car, but yeah, but Corey is supposed to be like the nerdy guy from Christine, I guess.
Yeah, it does have a lot of nods to John Carpenter movies. Especially the DJ getting, talking about what's going on. That was very like The Fog.
Oh yeah.
The Christine in the the junkyard. They played a thing on TV in the very beginning. Yeah, it definitely felt like it was a love letter to John Carpenter movies, but I don't know if it was a love letter to the Halloween franchise. Just I don't know. It's just I was okay with it. I mean, I had a day to think about it once it was over, and my opinions don't really matter, but I mean, as someone who is not obsessed with the Halloween franchise as much as they are obsessed with Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, this one was just okay. I mean, I didn't get any satisfaction or anything out of it. It's just kind of feel like it was overdrawn and done so long, and it happened to play the same weekend as like an up and coming franchise, Terrifier 2. So we have a breath of fresh air, and then we also have something we've seen a million times before. So I guess my palate's been a little hasn't been cleaned yet.
Yeah, and speaking of like Terrifier 2, where I could kind of cross reference with what I just said earlier about this film. Like I said, you had the Jamie Lee, you had the cop that may be retired, I couldn't tell at this particular point, and then you had Corey and the daughter, and the rest of the town, everybody sucked. Like, just you didn't like these people. Where in Terrifier 2, I think everybody immediately liked Sienna and Jonathan. I just think like that's the Art the Clown or whoever it's going to be has to have someone on the other side who you're rooting for, and they gotta shine strong. And I thought Damien hit a home run with this. It was like Corey for this. It was like I liked him, but did you really love him? Were you really rooting for this guy?
It was just like a shoehorned filler.
Yeah, like could you get behind it? So like I don't know. Like Corey's like he's with Michael Myers, but yet he has a heart and loves Laurie Strode's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it love that drove him to do this?
Yeah, I don't get it. And it's like, oh, I'll have to kill Laurie Strode. Like what? Make her what? Like you have nowhere else to go, so you'll come with me. I don't know what he was going for. And I get the whole he killed his mom. His mom was definitely like almost Mrs. Bates like a big really was on him. But the whole part with the dad, I was like, the dad seemed like he kind of liked them. So when the dad got his head blown off, I was like, you didn't even flinch, dude. And you don't look like your dad at all. Your dad had the chubbiest face I may have ever seen. Like you turned out to be all right looking kid. I don't get what
I was getting a stepdad vibe from him.
Yeah.
How about the scene where the dead kid's mother is at the bar and just starts going off? It was just like that had me cackling. I think that was like it had to be written by Danny McBride. I know the beginning scene was written by Danny McBride with the kid getting fucking murder balled off the top of the stairwell and then just landing to his fucking death. Just that whole scene at the bar was just, I hate using the word cringy, but it was loud. It was a very loud moment. And just like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Why don't
I know, because like, you always put yourself in that character, and I'm just like, oh, you're having a good time, you're dancing with this girl, you ripped your shirt off at one point, you're like, all right, I'm living, and then you see that. But I just put it like the second she started talking to me, I would have said like, I'm still sorry. That's all I think I could say. I'm still sorry. I ruined your life. And I'm not staying there and getting freaking pounded by her. Yeah. No way.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry I killed your son, but I'm drinking tonight. So if you mind keeping it down.
Yeah.
Something like that, Fucking bitch.
It was 3 years ago. Get over it.
You could have made another kid by now.
Yeah, it was like moments like that where it's like, I don't care. Like everything with Corey, I was just like, I don't care. Like, they were like, oh, Corey's sad today. I don't care. Corey's got a new bike. I don't fucking care. I mean, it dragged, and I didn't understand why they needed to have all that, the whole relationship between Corey and the youngest Strode character. I keep forgetting her name, so I'm just gonna not name her at all. But I just didn't get any of that. Yeah. Allison. So Corey and Allison, I didn't get the dynamic, and nor did I. Like, again, I didn't care. I just wanted to see fucking Michael Myers and Laurie Strode duke it out for the whole entire movie because it lacked in Halloween Kills, and we figured we get some in. And I would like to see something with Silver Shamrock because they really had the witch skeleton and pumpkin mask from Silver Shamrock in both Halloween 2018 Halloween Kills. It would have been cool to hear like, oh well, Michael Myers didn't die because he put the mask on and it's fucking powered by witchcraft and that's why he's invincible. But it just kind of went a different direction. I mean, if I was making a fan film, that's what I would have done.
Yeah. I mean, is there any curveballs of so we're not making like it's a total hate train that you boys actually liked? Like I just said, I did dig the ending of, because that's different, floating around town and meat grinder. That I like that. Is there anything?
I liked it better than Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills was just, now I mean I'm gonna buy this when it comes on Blu-ray just to add it to the Halloween collection. But it's not my favorite Halloween movie by far. Like, most of the sequels are better than this. But like Halloween Kills was just like we're just gonna be brutal for brutal sake. Like it was like the light tube death, or it turned out that she was alive. That wasn't necessary. The whole firefighter thing wasn't necessary. There's so much stuff they could have cut out on that, but like at least Halloween Ends, at least it had some like suspense, like at the very beginning with Corey and the kid when we couldn't find them. I thought that was suspenseful because I thought that the kid was going to kill Corey because I didn't really watch any trailers or read up about this movie at all. So I didn't know about the whole Corey thing or anything, It was all right. I don't hate it. I don't hate it like you do.
Yeah,
I had to watch it a couple more times, honestly, before I could figure out whether I really like whether I like it or not. You know what I mean? I didn't like Season of the Witch when I first saw that either. So
yeah, well, that one's the one that we were all disappointed and it grew on you. But this is, well, I mean, that was a corporate thing. They just said, hey, well, Halloween's, the property's up for sale. Let's try to swing it over here and we'll take the fans. And people got so mad when it wasn't them. That's why the fourth movie's titled, so people, to get the fans back, the return of Michael Myers. Like, yeah, he's actually going to be over here this time. But I don't know. I fear Nightmare on Elm Street and I fear Friday the 13th. It's just going to come out and be woke, and I don't know who's going to write these films that actually understand the property. Like, if you're a film writer, anyone could just be like, yeah, the guy's name's Clark Kent, also known as Kyle. He comes from Krypton. Krypton could kill him, and here's the backstory. Write it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just
Halloween
don't.
is woke?
No, I don't think this one, the last one, totally was. This one, I actually give a little bit of a pass. I was like, I thought this was I thought it was actually kind of too clean. I didn't think we had super kills. There's not a lot of gore, and there was no nudity at all. I thought the nurse was going to be the one. And then the nurse, it's the classic kill. I'm like, did you have to do that? Like, could she have died another way? You know, did you just try to pull episode 7, 8, and 9? Like, you're just trying to please the original audience with that one? I didn't know what they were doing with that one.
I think there's too many hands in the pot. You see how many writers and executive producers were attached to this movie, like in the opening credits. I think when you have too many hands in the pot, especially people with money, people with creative control, I think everyone was just at a tug of war trying to find a medium where they can make a Halloween movie. And obviously, in some cases it works. Most cases it doesn't.
But now you say that, it sounds like Freddy versus Jason, and there was like 14 fighters, and it was just all over the place,
Yeah.
Minus the fight. I always approved the fight. Just the entire plot of that was still messed up to me.
Is that why Freddy versus Jason took so long to make? Because there was too many people involved in it?
I don't know if it was that. Yeah, technically what? Jason Goes to Hell was 93, so that was 2000.
Yeah, so
it
took 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was getting the property of no, they were both under New Line then. Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, it was all over the place, but the whole idea of Freddy versus Jason, but they're all terrified to go to sleep. But yet Jason's massacring everyone. I'd be like, I don't know if I'd be worried about the sleep just yet. Yeah. Freddy killed like one person, like one teen, the blonde hair kid. That was it. Like, Jason was just like constant, like, I am mad. I'm coming for this stuff. But yeah, that was an out there. And the fact that Jason feared water, I was like, really? Every single film he goes in the water. He's afraid of a little waterfall in a boiler room. Really? You can't.
It's like this one wasn't related to any of the sequels, or I don't know. Maybe wasn't related to any of the movies.
Yeah. So, what's your guys' theory on Michael sitting in a sewer for 4 years? Was he doing what? Like, was he ever going to come out? What if Corey didn't show up? There's so much gray area here.
Maybe he was waiting for him because maybe he knew that he was coming because there was some sort of like a psychic. Maybe like it seemed like Michael Myers was a psychic when he was choking him because it showed like
their eyes lock. Yeah,
it shows like what he's like seeing in his head of like what happened at the beginning of the movie. But I think it's still by coincidence that he showed up there though. So he was probably just eating like rats and dogs and stuff like for 4 years and killing homeless people because the hobo guy said that people would go in there and they wouldn't come out. So he was probably still killing people during the 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in quarantine in a hotel where all I had was fruit and muffins, and that was only for like 2 months. I don't think I would have survived if I would have lived any longer. The fact that he lived 4 years underground, killing hobos and maybe eating them.
Probably.
I have no idea. Like at that point anymore, I'm just like, I don't fucking care why he's in this sewer anymore. Like, just get on with it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, I guess he was probably like eating rats or something because that's probably why he was so weak when he was fighting Laurie Strode because he's malnourished for 4 years.
But Corey killed that hobo guy, so he could have just pulled him in and he could have got his protein right there. He could have ate that dude and been like fully ready to fight Laurie Strode. And at the end, was it Corey and Michael like teaming up, because Corey in a fist fight beat up Michael Myers and took his mask? But let's just throw that out there. Michael Myers lost the street fight, and he's like, "I'm taking your mask too." And so was Michael chasing him like, "You ain't finishing what I started. Like, I'm going to kill Laurie Strode," and Corey's younger and quicker and got there earlier, or were they a team?
I don't understand how Michael Myers found out where Laurie lived, unless Michael was just following Corey around like the whole night, because I don't know where he would find out where she lives.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of questions. Why did Laurie Strode still stay in the town? I know she said, like, I don't like to run, but you would think with everything, you think your daughter got killed in one of the dumbest script writing errors I've ever seen, of like, oh, it's the end of Halloween Kills. Oh yeah. The police would normally be quarantining that entire house. That's evidence. And then, Laurie Strode's daughter walks up and the cop's like, oh, it's Laurie Strode's daughter. She can go anywhere she wants, and then goes in and gets killed. Like, I don't, that part. And like the daughter's Harley was referenced. Jamie Lee seemed completely like over it. Like, yeah, my daughter was killed 4 years ago, by a dickhead. Like I was like, and then even at the end, when she was just like, I hate you. I was hunting you, and I tried to forgive you. What do you mean you're trying to forgive him? What did you call with that one?
That should have been the tagline of the movie. My daughter was killed 4 years ago by a dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I don't know. Is Danny McBride's name attached to this again?
Yeah, he's a writer and a producer.
Really? He was actually a writer of this one too?
Yeah, he wrote.
He wrote the other two.
Yeah, I like I said, he it wasn't just him. It was David Gordon Green. It was him. It was like 2-3 other people throughout the entire trilogy, and of course you count all the executive producers and everything. I just think there was too many hands in the pot, and sometimes it doesn't mesh well. I don't know. I just didn't care.
Yeah, like I said, even with this, I'm nervous for Freddie and Jason. I really am, for whenever their return is. I just have a feeling they're going to want to just restart it, and it's just going to be a film with cell phones, like both of them. It's just going to be, it's just going to be cell phones.
I'm ready to see Jason in an actual movie again. Not like not a fan film. I know we got plenty of fan films on YouTube, which they're enjoyable. But I'm excited to see Jason again, whenever that may be, because now that Halloween Ends just came out, I saw that. I'm over Michael Myers for at least 15 more years. So
he's definitely a character that needs to go to bed for a while. Like a while. I'm not talking bring him back in 2 years, which supposedly it's already slated. But,
take like a Jason type of hiatus.
Yeah, take a while. And you could always, like, between Freddie and Jason and Michael, I wish they would pull the Rogue One, where it's just like, this isn't connected. This is a whole side story over here. Like, I was always want to see Jason with his mother, what that entire era was like kind of learn them. I wouldn't mind seeing if it's the father or if they're a brother. I thought you could kind of go back and do some side stories there. I don't think you have to like restart it. You don't need to restart it. You could go to that area and just go in a different direction. I don't know. I've always said I want to direct a Friday the 13th film. Do I have an idea to bring back modern time Jason? Yeah, but I can't. There's ways to tribute in the past, but you have to bring that forward. You just can't just be like, how many times could kids unknowingly be stupid enough to go to a lake where there's a killer? Like, freaking again, seriously, these kids keep showing up. Like, don't they get the memo?
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake. Oh, that's where people got murdered. Let's have a children's party there. Bring a pony and all that fun shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't get it. I still think if you could find the two characters to pull it off, I would have liked to seen a side movie of. I wish it could be the real actors and when they were younger, but I would have loved to have seen Crazy Ralph in the original Hitchhiker from Texas Chainsaw Massacre on a road trip. I think that'd be a great comedy.
Yeah, that would have been a great comedy.
Yeah, it would. Yep.
Discussing Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, like this for some reason they gotta drive cross country.
It could be a buddy road trip movie.
Yeah, like maybe they're gonna go to Wally World and meet the Griswolds. Like that would have been perfect.
Well, you're the
I have a lot
director.
of ideas. It's like I gotta contact the province. Like, you want Jason? No, I just want Crazy Ralph. Give me clearance for that one.
Yeah, it was just seeing something like that. I'm glad that the series is over, and I'm glad we can like move on to like new things. For the fans, it's kind of a bittersweet ending. It's just like, okay, we finally fucking killed Michael Myers again, and this is the last of the Laurie Strode movies again. Let's see what else we can do.
Going
they could
forward,
do the whole. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, all you.
No, I said, or they could do the whole thing with Halloween Resurrections, where it would be like, oh, that wasn't Michael Myers he killed. That was just someone he set up to get killed so he could get away.
Yeah, and if you really want to say, and I'm convinced that's what they're doing with this Corey character, but you make an Allison Corey spinoff. So is Corey chasing her because he's in love, or is he like, you let your mom kill me and I need to kill you now? Like I don't know. I don't know how you make this work. I did like at the beginning when they're like, all right, we're going to try to pass this right off. But I thought in a second, as soon as when the kid dropped, I'm like, he's going to have the mask on at one point. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I already know. I'm like, I think you kind of announced it to the audience. I was just hoping that you'd explain. I think if they could have explained why Michael wanted him, like something, like, I don't know. I know Michael doesn't talk, but I don't know how you would like it. But you could explain, like, officially, you're my protege. I think I would have liked the film a lot better. I just think I would have, but how do you do that?
No idea. But if Corey does come back as the Shape, I mean, can you imagine the Shape that just doesn't shut the fuck up while chasing after you? Because now he talks while he wears a mask. So.
Oh yeah. Do you have to actually wear that mask, or could it be alternated? Yeah, because I mean that would be weird. Like I don't know.
I'd be cool with him wearing the Scarecrow mask.
Yeah,
that's what I think they might have been marketing. Like that. But yeah, I thought that was funny when they went to the bar. She's like, "I got you covered," and she hands him a Scarecrow mask. That's it. Oh, there's your outfit.
Yeah, don't mind if you run into that mom of the dead kid you murdered 4 years ago. She'll probably be here.
Yeah, it was like
she hangs out there every week.
No, and you had to feel as the worst freaking people. Like, you just don't care about any of them. They're all idiots to each other, and even in a small town like that, you would kind of think if you were the mom, would you want to go out on Halloween? Wouldn't that be the morning day? Like, it's the 3rd or 4th year anniversary of my kid just died. Like, you might want to be out of the public eye.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go for a bar, bitch.
I gotta give it to the one character. Notable shout out to the diverse group of bullies that they had. They weren't your run of the mill like 80s bullies with the jocks, and they were like, my car's better than yours. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you because I hate your glasses. It was a very diverse group of bullies, and I have to give a shout out to the girl who did absolutely nothing while everyone else is beating the shit out of Corey, and then she continues to do absolutely fucking nothing as they're trying to kill Corey at the fucking junkyard, and then she has the best death of them all because she just gets her face smashed in. It's just like,
what a stomp! So all of a sudden, Corey has supernatural crushing head powers, just like that.
I guess just like that, yeah. The gate kind of weakened her defenses. So
don't you think? I get all right. I just love the whole idea of you're not going to buy me a case of beer. We have a problem.
Yeah, I know who you are, you child killer. Think
Oh,
you're
that
so
was
smart.
it. And then, you throw him off a bridge. Oh, he slipped. What's his driver? Like, really? Like that's gonna, no one will know.
That's my story.
Yeah.
These fucking kids, like, I give a nod to them, because like they were very diverse bullies. You haven't seen
And the
those
one,
bullies before.
not the jockey looking kid, but the other kid had a rockin' mullet, like a good Ariel Speedwagon type of mullet fan, like.
I heard the mullet's back. That's what I heard.
It is back. You
That
won't
the
see me
Gen
with
Z
one,
kids
though.
love it.
Well,
they fucking adore it. They'll eat that shit up.
well, I will let everybody know offhand. In 6th grade, I had that awesome hairdo. I totally rocked that. Exactly how that kid.
Well, now you need to fight every Gen Z kid you see with the mullet, Lauren. Be like, I had this before you, fucking poser.
Yeah, exactly. It was all right to have that 1989. You were kind of hip. I don't know. I don't know about now. I don't think I could roll with it.
Yeah.
Haddonfield has the ugliest bullies there. The bullies at the beginning of Halloween Kills, very bizarre and ugly looking. These kids were very bizarre. And that the cop that's like 50 years old and he was dating Allison. And I think he was one of those weird looking bullies at the beginning of Halloween Kills. Because they said his last name. And at the beginning of Halloween Kills, they're like, don't fuck with the Mulaney's. And I think he was like Officer Mulaney or something.
Yeah. And this is also, I think, the first film. Oh, hold up. I got this is the first film too on Halloween history that, unless I'm wrong, that Michael Myers, no one shot at Michael Myers, like no cop, because in every Halloween film, the cops could never shoot a slow moving target ever, especially in Halloween Kills. That happened like numerous. A guy walking the steps, like, where these guys learn to shoot? They missed it. But how about this guy that was dating Allison before Corey? Did anyone just stare at this guy? Like, you look like someone who was like a special guest on Family Ties in 1985. Like,
yeah, Alex just said you look like 50-year-old, right?
Oh my! And how old were you? And as an off-duty cop, you turn into a jockey asshole when she's out with someone else. Like, so who's this? Like,
Yo, so you got to go back to that scene when they're at the diner, because there is a background extra who has the best fucking long mullet that you'll see in the entire movie. If you look at them when everyone turns around to stare at Allison and Corey after they've been belittled by the cop, there is this man with this beautiful, majestic mullet, and he just kind of just stares. You have to go back and watch it.
I'll go rewind that just for no problem. Turning it right off after that part, but yeah. But then this cop does what? Was he gonna try to fight Corey under a bridge and get away with it because he's a cop, or was he trying to actually kill him?
Yeah, you'd be surprised what cops do to
over. Cop was he's gonna at least fight this guy over the town loony in a small way, which is like Laurie Strode at this time. Like, yo, you know who I was dating? I want her back.
Like, at least fight him in front of the dead kid's mother that you fucking saw at the bar. Like, get her off.
And it looked like he was sitting with off-duty cops, so
Rocky
he could have easily upstaged that. Like, he could have threw the first punch and be like, yo, it was self-defense. No, Corey threw it at me. No, I didn't. Yeah, well, all them right there, but
Corey didn't buy me beer. He's a fucking pussy.
Oh, I was staring at that. I could not stop staring how old he was. And like I said, that hair, I was just like, oof.
Yeah, and Allison's supposed to be like she's 22 or something, because
that's what I thought. And
he was in high school.
What, 52? Like, I can't.
Yeah, he was definitely in his 50s, especially if he was a kid in 1978. He was definitely like 50 something, I think.
Yeah.
It's such a small town that you just don't care. I mean, look at what Allison chose. Like, she just broke up with that cop, right? And now she's just like automatically falls in love with like the dude who fucking murdered a kid like a couple of years ago, and just takes him out on their not even first date, to like go to a bar, get hammered, and just fucking wreak havoc. Yeah, I didn't get that whole approach where they wanted to burn the whole town down and then now they don't. And I didn't understand what was going on. They needed some type of filler. It was just weird. Not weird like, strange. It was just weird that it was just why they went with those choices.
Why did they go with those choices too? Where if you really think about kills in the previous film, the cast was really slimmed down. Like think about how many people spoke in this movie. 12 to 15 maybe. Like it just seemed very, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you don't need that to make a good film, but it just seemed, like you said, it seemed a lot of dead time, seemed a lot of filler time, and we got a movie that's an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also didn't see the point of bringing Kyle Richards back.
Yeah, I don't know what she did. She had a few lines.
just to drink wine at Laurie Strode's house and be a bartender at that shitty dive bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seemed like the only thing, one thing happened up front when I've always said for years is why in Nightmare on Elm Street and why in Haddonfield does Michael Myers' house still stand? And then finally in this film at the beginning, they go through like a montage and they plowed that house down. I'm like, yeah, really? You think you might want to do that just because that's a memory of a constant bad especially Freddy's house. Like, hi, child molesters. He killed children. Yeah, leave the house, put it up for sale. That's property. Like,
oh, you have a bunch of fucking psychopaths trying to buy that house just because of the aesthetics of it.
Yeah, but boys, this flowed fine. I mean, is there anything else we need to cover? Because I kind of think we kind of went through everything and covered it all.
All I gotta say is I'm looking forward to seeing Terrifier 2, and I haven't seen it yet. And I'm excited to see it. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing now since I saw Halloween Ends. And I'm sure Terrifier 2 is going to be much more of a good time, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I would tell you, I mean, by the time this airs, it's only going to be a couple more days. It's going to be out of the theater, but it is available at AMC this week.
Oh, it still is? I thought it was for 1 weekend only.
Okay, so it was, but since it broke $1.2 million, it got held over for one final week. So it's going to go to streaming. I think the following week, but in case you do want to see it in the theater, where there's been reports of a lot of people puking.
Well, I mean, you should know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Also, it beat Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Well,
the biggest question I have is why in the fuck is Top Gun still in the theater?
Well, here's the thing. All right, so I'm going to tell you, even being part of Terrifier 2, that Maverick was the best movie of the entire year. It's also the most profitable movie of the year. It made $1 billion. We don't have enough movies coming out to the point where they said, let's put Maverick back in. So it went back to, might have been close to number 1, and then it fell to 10. So when Terrifier came in at number 10, it sunk Maverick. But when you look at $1.2 million versus billions of dollars, well, Maverick's really the winner. Or could just say, he took out, knocked him out of his return spot. But yeah. So good for everybody involved. Everybody go check out Terrifier 2. And I will, always be able to pat myself that I brought Art the Clown to Philadelphia at the Fright Factory, which I would also tell everybody that, anyone who loves, haunted houses and loves going to horror movie locations, you want to go to the Fright Factory in Philly. It closes the Halloween weekend after that weekend's over, but you should go in. And the part where, not really giving anything away anymore, but there's art was here written in the poopy bathroom. That's there for life. That's there for life. That's never coming down. The doll room and any of the scenes you saw evolving the Fright Factory where Art was, Frank, the owner, changes that up a lot. That's immortal. It's untouched because it's part of Terrifier 2.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the doll room, the poop room, the giant rat, the dragon. Yeah. Even with Terrifier 2 wasn't filmed there. I'm telling you, that's a wild ride. It's 30,000 square feet, people. It's a
Yeah, I
lot.
haven't been there in almost 20 years, or it's been about 15 years since I've been to the Fright Factory.
You could go and you could actually see that art and stop and take a picture for all you want. Yeah, I was telling Frank once the movie came out that there's gonna be a big log jam in the poopy room where the particular that scene with art. You watch that in the chapel where a big fight scene happens. So, but everybody check it out, and I guess we'll wrap this up. Alex, any plugs of any kind? Go for it. The floor is yours.
You could listen to Dawn of the Horror Cast and other genres at Spotify. And it's also on Anchor. And that's about it.
All right, Brian, floor is yours. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. You're always Mr. Dependable and full of knowledge.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate talking about the Halloween Ends movie. It's definitely solid 7 out of 10, just for the kills. And yeah, if you are looking for a indie horror movie to watch at your own home, you go to Amazon Prime or Zumo app and you can check out Hideout. It's free. I'm in it. It's a fun movie. Gather friends, get some drinks in and get ready to go to town on some crazy indie horror effects. And yeah, so check that out, Hideout. And Lauren, once again, thank you very much for having me. Alex, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Brian.
All right. Well, thank you. And also, Brian's film Hideout was filmed locally in South Jersey.
Hey.
So we got to give the plugs for that. And I will say thank you to this audience for taking the time to check us out. Even if you're a diehard Michael Myers fan, you're screaming at me right now. Still, thank you for stopping by. We drop a new show every Monday morning, although this show is going to be up in 1 hour because this is a special edition for, wrap up of the whole series. So until then, I will see you soon and tell everybody the party is over.